Hey, good day, YouTube. This is Friday, 17th of March, 2017, and I am just playing a little bit. This is a way to cut styrofoam. I have this Boyertown step van that I'm redoing. I'm fixing up, make a mobile studio, and I need to insulate the walls and ceilings. So I've been watching on YouTube people that are insulating and what they're using and their methods and so forth. And most everybody is using this high density styrofoam insulation. I haven't bought the insulation for the project yet, but I had a piece of it kicking around the barn. This is actually 3-inch, which is almost twice as thick as I could fit in my walls, which are just under 2-inch. So I probably will end up with 1.5 styrofoam. But you know, when I was in junior high school, or high school, I guess, I took a drafting class, and the drafting teacher had this hot wire. And he would take a piece of styrofoam and he would cut it out randomly and hand it to all of us students and say, here, draft this. And so you had to measure it up and draft it up on paper. And I've always remembered that hot wire for cutting styrofoam. I've seen people cut styrofoam for years, and it makes a mess. And I got a lot of it to cut. I'll bet styrofoam pieces will be blowing around this place for 10 years if I do it with a saw. So let's do it with a hot wire. So I've never made a hot wire, but I gathered up a few parts, and I'll show you what I've got. I'm not saying I have this thing dialed in, but I say it works. So I was down at the Home Depot and found this 28 gauge 100 foot of galvanized wire. Comes in a cool little dispenser and even has a cutter on it. And so I whipped off a couple of feet, just found a scrap piece of 1x2. Again, this is just to see if it works. And I just got a regular old 12 volt battery charger, 6 amp. And I have just a screw in the bottom, and I just twisted the wire around. I have a spring on the top to keep it tight. Just put a little bit of pre-tension on it, just with a wood screw in it for now. And then there's the wire. So I have the positive terminal down there from the battery charger, and then up here, let's hook up the negative side. If I can get it in the view, if I can do it while I watch, little sparky. And then what's the charger doing? It went up to 5-6 amps. Now it's backing down to about 3 as that wire gets hot. So we're sitting there at about a little over 3 amps. It's not moving anymore, so that wire is hot. Now you can see this piece, I cut that off that 3-inch thick chunk. Took a little bit of time because it is so wide. So let's send this through the hot wire, like butter. Now I'll just take a left turn here. How sweet is that? And just look how clean that cut is. If I can keep it focused for you. Look at that. So no mess, no fuss, like butter. I didn't do any calculating. I just took a 2-foot piece of wire. I hooked it up the battery charger. Here we go. And it works fine. Look at that. You could cut anything with this thing. If you have like upholstery foam or whatever, the cool thing is no mess. So here's my plan, because I'll be cutting 4x8 sheets of probably 1.5 inches. I thought what I would do is drop a chain from the roof and come down to about 5-6 feet off the floor, maybe even this level, and then maybe attach one end of the wire to my workmate. Maybe I'll weight it down just a little bit, and then the other end to the logging chain. You'll just have to picture it, in this area here, and then I'll just hook the battery charger up to the top, and then the wire, and then at the bottom. And I'll probably do something with like a board like that with some eye bolts in it to keep the wire from, you know, stretching, and because the chain's just going to want to run all over the place. So I'll probably just put a board up there, put a couple eye bolts in it, thread the wire through the eyes so that I can run 4x8 sheets through without having, you know, this backstop here. So it would just be a wire in the air. I mean, I'll have to like block the place off so somebody doesn't walk into it, because that would be bad. But it would be excellent for cutting 4x8 sheets. And I've got a lot of it to do, so I might just as well set up something cool, and then it's something maybe I could just store the parts and pieces away for another day. So here we go. It's a hot wire for cutting foam, just like butter. Cool. Nothing to it. Costs about $3 for that little roll of wire. Y'all got a battery charger sitting around. Y'all got a board, maybe a little spring. You get a box full of them springs for $5 at Harbor Freight. There you go. Ain't nothing to it. You can make it like a portable handheld. You can make it like a table saw. You can make it whatever you want. But that's all you really need. Piece of wire and a battery charger. Please comment, subscribe, and we'll do it again.